What a great day indeed today to have you here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure. For those who are new, welcome, and for those who are coming back, it's a pleasure to have you back. And let's start off the video with a giveaway from our previous video. We have our winner, Mysterious Loki. And yeah, congratulations, you can claim your prize at my island. And yeah, I already given you the permission to go there. You have my permission. And yeah, so congratulations again. If you want to join, type in the comment section below IGN. And sadly, this is only an East giveaway. But yeah, I will be having a sort of a bigger giveaway during my 500 subscribers. So I hope you would be there, guys. Just want to inform you guys that as of the moment, as I am editing this video, we are currently at 380 subscribers. It is crazy. I just I wasn't even over from the 100 subscribers, 100 subscribers effect yet. And it's already 380. It's growing quite okay, and it's all thanks to you guys. So for those who haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. It's for free, and free things are good things. Anyways, it has been a crazy week for me. I won a 7-day premium from my favorite streamer, Beast1K. Shout out to you, my mentor, and the One Hand Dagger King. And I joined the Fire Staff tournament of Burnstone along with Summer Seashells. You might know her, but if you don't, you can check her out. She streams, and also Burnstone and Beast1K. Check them out. Pew Pew also, and One. So it was a great experience for me. It was a great week. Yeah, enough about that. Again, thank you so much, guys. You made this possible. And now let's proceed to the video. Welcome, and for this video, we're gonna be doing the King of Daggers. Weapon review for the King of Daggers. That is Deathgivers. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So the spotlight for this weapon review goes to the Deathgivers, and as I've mentioned, it is the King of Daggers, and there are plenty reasons why. First of all, it's very versatile. It deals a lot of damage, and mobility-wise, it's good. And overall, it's just a much more reliable weapon than one hand dagger or even bloodletter. So yeah, it is the King of Daggers, and I love it because I feel like I am the wolf in Puss in Boots.
I just love the smell of fear.
Yeah, you will smell fear if you're using this weapon. It's a very good weapon. It's a very strong weapon, and aesthetic aside, it is a popular weapon in the mist. It is one of the metas of the moment, and big streamers such as One and Coco are enjoying this weapon. And there are actually very good reasons why they enjoy this weapon. But is it really that good, or is it like over glorified, just IP abused weapon? How is it really? Is it like overrated, or is it like just another meta weapon? So I bought 5 sets of Deathgivers and tested the weapon, and will give my review so that you will have an idea if this weapon is compatible with you. I will be judging the weapon by 4 aspects. We have the PvE, PvP, mobility, and the difficulty of mastering the weapon or just using the weapon. So before we officially start our review, I would like to remind you guys that if you're not yet subscribed, please do subscribe. We're aiming for 500 subscribers within this month, or even 1K if I get those juicy subscribes of yours. But anyways, I would like to remind you that this is not a guide. I'm not making this video as a guide, but as a weapon review, because I will be reviewing the weapon and try to identify its weakness, how good it is in certain aspect of the game. But this is not a guide. I will be having a commentary regarding the weapons, but yeah, let's just have a first look at the PvE side of this. So for the PvE, let's just say that PvE is not the best asset of the Deathgivers. However, it is not that bad either. The stacking mechanic of the Deathgivers, which would make its E ability reset in turn, would mean that you can basically cast E as many times as you can, as long as you get the 3 stacks. And farming mobs, it's easy to get the 3 stacks. However, this weapon is known for having problems with mana, especially with the recent patches. So spamming E when farming would drain you quickly, so most of the time you would be more reliant to your Q and shurikens if you're farming. Because of that, I would give it a 3. It just lacks the sustain and the AoE damage than the previous weapons I have reviewed. So yeah, that's a 3 for me. Now moving on to the PvP aspects of the weapon. So there is a reason why Deathgivers is one of the most popular and most used weapon in the mist today. Not just in the mist but also in the roads, because of its high damage and its versatility. You could have multiple playstyle if you're using a Deathgiver. So that means you could counter a lot of builds, and with its iframe potential, it's actually a pretty good counter against those high burst builds or even sword metas as of now. So the only problem I encountered during the time I play this weapon is that keeping my stocks up. And it was very hard because when you miss one Q, your stock will reset to 0 and you will have to restock again while you're having combat, and it's very hard to do. So most of the time it I would take a lot of damage if I miss my Q. So being accurate with your Q is very essential skill when you're playing a Death Giver. However, even though without the stocks, you would still deal a lot of damage and you could finish off your enemies with the double E pretty easily. You could out damage a lot, but there's a general rule of thumb here said by Pew Pew, and it is when you are not certain if you can beat the enemy, you should pre-stack. That means you can queue to to the enemies, to the mobs, to the critters that are laying around the mists, and actually just engage when you have 2 or 3 stacks. But most of the time, good players would just walk away from you or would actually just mount up and leave so that they won't be eat, because you would be at a very big advantage if you manage to do that. But most of the time, if you go over the how to gain stock problem of the weapon, you would actually be pretty efficient, pretty effective against almost every build, every enemy you would encounter. So yeah, basically that's why I'm gonna be giving this a 4. And the only reason it's a 4 because it's hard to hit those stocks. It's hard to maintain those stocks, and it's hard to gain those stocks. So for the commentated fight, I chose this fight, which I'm fighting a 6.3 spear, but I am a 5.2 death givers. So the reason that I chose this fight is that I played pretty poorly here, but we could have take some notes with it. So if you notice, I dismounted him with a Q instead of a basic attack because that would allow me a free 1 stack. And I hit my second Q. He used his hunter hood. I used my merc jacket. I hit my third Q. As you can see, I hit my third Q and I used my E. It didn't cool down. It didn't came to a cooldown. Sorry about the player. It didn't came to a cooldown because it actually resets my cooldown right there. And I use my Stalker Hood to counter his Assassin Jacket. And it is pretty okay because I could use my Stalker Hood in my second rotation. And right here, I just brawl. It's pretty ideal to hit mobs, a group of mobs with your E. And right here, I know I'm winning. And that's what I'm mentioning. That's what I mentioned about you earlier, that it's hard if your E, if your Q is missed. As you can see, I have no stocks here. I have to reset my stocks. Thankfully, there's a mob right there. And I'm taking a lot of damage. I have my 2 stocks. I prematurely used my E here. So it went into a cooldown. But it was enough because his HP was below 50%. The Stalker Hood provided more damage. And that's how I win. So the most important thing here is to keep your stocks up and to actually be more efficient in using your E. Rather than I made a lot of mistakes that you shouldn't follow right there. Thankfully, I was able to compensate, and the trash rate was very bad. So moving on to mobility. So just like any dagger weapon, it has a pretty decent mobility, not as good as Bloodletter. However, with its E, with its W and Q, you could chase almost every build with this weapon, and you could also escape almost every build with this weapon. So I would give this a solid 4 for mobility. Moving on to the difficulty. And to be honest with you guys, you just don't pick this weapon and expect to be good at it. At the same time, you would actually need a lot of practice in hitting this Q and gaining those stocks and the timing of using your E, when to engage and when to disengage, those kind of stuff. But there is a very good tip here in the settings. You could actually go to controls, and instead of putting it into a quick cast when button pressed, you could actually put it quick cast when button released. That way you could see the trajectory on where your Q would hit and would actually improve your accuracy much better. But to be honest, the difficulty with this weapon is quite high. The skill ceiling is high, which means if you master this weapon, even at low tiers, you could actually kill high tiers. And even me, I did not master this weapon. I am very bad at this weapon, to be honest, but I managed to kill a 6-3 without OCing. And that's a proof that this weapon is very powerful. And yeah, if you just master it, you hone your skills with it, you would actually be more effective in the mists. But the difficulty is very high, so I'm gonna give this a 4. The King of Daggers, a title well suited for Deathgivers. I would say overall a pretty good weapon. PvP wise, one of the best that I've seen. PvE wise, okay, quite okay, not really the greatest of all. However, the mobility is above average, so it's pretty good if you're using it for mists. And the difficulty, however, is the main problem. The difficulty in using the weapon. The skill ceiling is very high, so mastering it would take a lot of time and a lot of deaths. And yeah, it's basically a hard weapon to master since you will have to manage your Q. You need to hit your Q. You need to be accurate with it. You need to E at the right time. You need to use your merc jacket at the right time. But once you've gone past those mechanics, you'd actually dominate the mist. So would I recommend this to the newer players? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean you should play it as like immediately, because it is a very expensive weapon and expensive set, so you might need to save some silver, burn some silver if you're ready for that. If you're ready to die a lot of times while mastering this weapon, then you should actually be playing this weapon. You should go play this weapon, I mean, because but overall, even if you have the Excalibur, you would still be useless if you don't know how to swing your sword. So just practice this weapon. It's a very, very powerful weapon, but if you don't know how to use it, you're just as useless as those critters in mists. You're just going to be food for players. So yeah, that's it for me, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you into the next video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below. And if you like this content and you want more, click the video shown on the screen. It is my weapon review for One Hand Daggers, my first ever weapon review. That would be all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you around, guys.